Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis, and today we're going to be talking about Quant Network, or QNT. So sit back, relax, and before we fully jump on into this video, I just want to ask you guys if you could please leave a like on this video. It does help the channel grow immensely, and I do greatly appreciate it. Now, I just want to ask you guys a serious question, and I really want you all to really answer it down in the comments below. But who do you honestly think the early, adopters of Bitcoin were? Because it wasn't retail individuals. Of course, you could argue that those who were buying at like $100 and so might have been a little bit of some retail individuals that heard about Bitcoin maybe from their friend or so. But for the most part, the early adopters of Bitcoin were technology individuals who were into networks, understood how big this technology would essentially become, and understood how big it will eventually get to as well. Now, with QNT, we have this opportunity, right? We have this opportunity to research, understand, and know how big this technology will be, because we are seeing the early rails being built for these DLTs. We're seeing the early rails being built for the future of finance. Currently, right now, you could argue that QNT is overvalued. Okay? There's not much use for QNT just yet. Or is there? Because right now, blockchain technology, crypto technology, DLTs are trying to get adopted. They're trying to be utilized on a day-to-day scale. But the issue still lies behind all of them. That is interoperability. We need interoperability between all of these major networks in order for them to gossip between one another, in order for them to communicate with one another and exchange value, exchange transactions, payments, tokenized assets, tokenized pretty much anything. We need them to be able to communicate. What is solving that? QNT. So a lot of individuals think, well, QNT is already up significantly. It's overvalued. It's already pumped 109,000% from its all-time low 3 years ago. It's done. But I just want you guys to understand that the early adopters of Bitcoin that were buying at $100, $177, $200, $300, those people, and those aren't individuals who were extremely early. I'm just saying those were still the early adopters of Bitcoin to where it is now. Right now, we have a massive opportunity before our eyes. And a lot of individuals are still saying, well, QNT can't go to this and that because the market cap. But why is nobody comparing Bitcoin to any of these other assets because of its market cap in general? Bitcoin itself hit over $1 trillion in market cap, almost $2 trillion in market cap this year alone. Well, I shouldn't say this year alone, but last year. All right, and show me the use case behind Bitcoin. Show me the utility that is built within the Bitcoin network besides speculative overall store of value. QNT has built the networks. It has built the bridge between these DLTs. It is laying the foundation for what we will see in a year, 2 years, 3 years. And almost everyone will be utilizing QNT technology without even knowing it. Currently, right now, QNT is sitting at $177.53. Do I think that's overvalued or undervalued? To answer that question, I will say that it is severely undervalued for what it is solving. We look at Link. We looked at Link in the past when we had that DeFi summer. Link was huge. It was a massive gem. Still is a huge gem. Will I be buying Link over QNT right now? Absolutely not. You might be wondering why, or you're crazy, right? No, I'm not crazy. I have my bag of Link. I got my bag of Link under $10. I'm done accumulating Link. I'm accumulating other assets. Now, I'm just saying right now, if QNT was in the top 20, we'd be at a much higher price, evaluation. But in general, I'm still waiting for QNT to show up, to hit the sign of resistance and possibly break over it. RSI is looking rough, diminished volume since pretty much December 30th, and there's no sign of strength right now. So I'm not buying QNT currently. I'm waiting for it to drop down a little bit lower if we do. I don't need to buy QNT. I've loaded my bags. I've packed my bags. I've told you guys, about QNT a long time ago, and I continue to tell you guys about it because I don't want anybody else to miss out on this opportunity, because this is essentially Bitcoin at these numbers. Okay, why is it QNT? 33% less supply than Bitcoin, a lot more utility than Bitcoin, and guess what? It is going to be needed. In 2022, only one thing will unite the global blockchain takeover. What is that? The lack of interoperability in the blockchain world is a huge barrier to entry for regular consumers. We know that when we're talking about, the future of this space, blockchain technology cannot take over at rapid pace, and it cannot be mainstream adopted in without blockchain interoperability. We do see Visa now has its R&D teams working around the clock on a blockchain interoperability hub to connect different blockchain networks through one single payment channel, allowing for the transfer of digital assets between different blockchains through a single exchange. Guess who already has that? Guess who has already solved that? QNT. And now Visa's working on it. You know why Visa's working on that? Because Visa sees how big it's going to be. We even see here, in this case, while NFTs and the metaverse are well-covered topics in the crypto universe, the idea of interoperability is not. And that's why we believe trillion-dollar opportunities lie in this industry. Interoperability by itself is one massive use case that not a lot of individuals are seeing. You could argue that NFTs are going to be huge. You could argue that, for example, DeFi is going to be huge. You could argue the fact that all of these major use cases in the space are going to be huge. But how could they be if they cannot communicate with one another in terms of these networks? That's where interoperability shines. You cannot have NFTs. You cannot have DeFi. You cannot have these massive DLT technologies, covering 50% in terms of payments without being able to connect with one another and talk to one another. Interoperability is going to be huge. Blockchains need to move towards standards for interoperable asset transfers. A new emerging economy, which includes blockchain native tokens, digital tokens, stablecoins, and CBDCs, requires interoperable blockchain standards. I don't need to tell you guys how big QNT is going to be because everybody else is already telling you that. These massive articles are telling you what is needed, why it is needed, and how massive of a use case it is because of these major other networks or companies trying to jump into this space and solve this major problem. That is why I'm investing into QNT, because guess what? There was no need for Bitcoin at all for these last, 10, 20 years. But guess what continued to go up? The value of Bitcoin. Why? Because it was a great hedge against inflation. It was a great hedge against the 2008 crisis. It was made to hedge against crises like the 2008 crisis. But the issue is that there's still no major use behind Bitcoin. They're trying to make uses with the Lightning Network and stuff, but QNT already has the ground laid out for it, for its value to be, proven. We look back on my tweet just from yesterday alone. I said, those who were early adopters of Bitcoin and hodled through the uncertainties, the doubt, the haters, those who weren't visionaries, were the ones who celebrated success, wealth, and prosperity. This is my exact mentality with, for example, even HBAR. This is a third generation crypto technology. And I even said many of my holdings are similar in a sense. But HBAR specifically gets overlooked and talked down upon simply due to PA and marketing alone. And guess what else also gets talked down upon? That's right. QNT is also another great example. Quant is laying the rails for the transfer of data between all DLTs, easily 5 digits in due time. Okay, And I'm not the only one who sees this, okay? We see interoperability being a massive use case, but we also see Q&T is literally connecting every bank to one another. We see here, the merger makes them larger than Swift, and they specifically talk about how their excitement around working with Q&T and Gilbert Verdian. Wake up, Neo, your future awaits. And we also even see here, 2020 Q&T is integrated with SIA. 580 banks, 19 central banks. SIA merged with Nexi this week, another 1,000 plus banks and financial institutions, and working on digital euro. 2 million merchants, 120 million cards, 21 billion transactions, 5,000 plus employees across 15 countries. Now check photo 1 and just look at this. Okay? In terms of Nexi, in terms of all these major names, congratulations to SIA and Nexi on their merger. This is exciting steps towards becoming the European paytech. We're looking forward to working with you. Okay, I'm just saying, in terms of these massive networks, okay, these huge financial networks, they're all being connected by one massive network. That is Overledger. And of course, it continues on. The London Stock Exchange, unconfirmed lead, but when we're talking about how big this could be, I believe that we could easily see a major connection here. Market cap, $4 trillion. Market cap whole crypto, $2.23 trillion. Here you go, free alpha. 4x when confirmed. Q&T top 3 is imminent. Okay, and just look at how big this could be. So first off, this is Rashid Ayala. I really don't know how to pronounce his last name, so I do apologize if I butcher it, but he is the CEO of ALBT. And he is talking about connecting to LSEG, connectivity platform, and yes, we are planning to use Overledger. That's why they are partnered with them. Alliance Block is partnered with Q&T. You could pretty much go check it out. And we also see here, lead architect at London Stock Exchange, LSEG, executive director UK and Ireland at ISAC, principal director and energy lead at Accenture Strategy and Consulting. And then we also see here SVG Strategic Transformation Advisory International and CIO Japan Intermin. And then we also see over here, so here's the London Stock Exchange, execution via single connection to LSEG trading mechanisms. And just pay attention to these major overall network connections here. We do see 6 down here, which we've talked about the connection with 6 with Q&T. We also see, this is from CordaCon, which we've talked about the connections with, R3 Corda. All of this, in my opinion, is going to be, connected over one major network. Could you guys probably, or I shouldn't say probably, but could you guys assume which major network is going to connect this all to one another? And we also see here it has a market capitalization of $4 trillion. Some big companies such as British Petroleum, HSBC, Toyota Motors, Barclays, and Unilever are listed under it. Just saying, we've had a lot of unconfirmed leads. We've talked about unconfirmed leads with Oracle, which came to fruition. We've talked about unconfirmed leads with many of the partnerships, even SIA, that came to fruition. This is going to be huge. Okay, and then we look back a little bit to CBDCs, and we talk about CBDCs a lot, but then we look at this, how you link, right? Security networks, corporate DLT networks, national infrastructures, domestic capital markets, FMI, RTGS, permissionless, chains, trade finance networks into one network of networks as an internet protocol for digital assets. Q&T's ODAP live 2022. Okay, and here's the full Q&T or Quant and MIT ODAP industry day for financial services from the 18th and 19th. This goes back to March of 2021. This is interoperability for digital assets and cross-border transactions for DLTs, specifically connecting everything to one. Look at them all. Regulated Securities Network, Corporate DLT Network, Domestic Real-Time Payment Network, Public Permission Blockchains, Trade Finance Networks, Permissionless Blockchains, Domestic Capital Markets, FMI. Guys, the massive connections that Q&T has under its belt is huge in terms of where it's going to be in terms of price appreciation. I am so excited to watch Q&T really unfold. And I know a lot of individuals have been asking, is Q&T ISO 222? Well, look into what needs to be ISO 222. ISO 222 is for legacy. Tokenized currencies, CBDC, stablecoins, etc. will be compliant to ISO TC 307. Guess who's TC 307? Which was founded by Q&T CEO Gilbert Verdine in 2015 and soon to be the standard for 50 plus biggest countries and counting. This is massive. Okay, and then we look over here. To add, Q&T is not just rumored to be ISO compliant. What is stated in the article, they are 100% compliant. But in all fairness, ISO isn't a big deal to be compliant to for scale-ups. It's just a messaging standard. The hustle is for big global older banks, not for cryptos. Understand what you hold. Interoperability is going to be huge. The takeover event for crypto requires something like Q&T to connect all to one. The network of networks, the operating system of tomorrow. Q&T is a massive giant. I'm an early adopter. Are you an early adopter? Do you understand what you hold? Do you know what you hold? If you know what you hold, comment down below your Q&T price prediction in 5 years, by 2027. Because by 2027, a lot of predictions are tokenized assets being worth $24 trillion. We're talking more so about cross-border payments being worth like $200 trillion plus. I mean, the possibilities are endless. Let me know what you guys' prediction is for Q&T by 2027. My personal prediction for Q&T by that point is at least, and I'm talking about at least $20,000. So with that in mind, I hope that you all enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are in this video. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.